Child marriage is a major threat to the survival, health, and well-being of children and mothers. It denies victims their rights to health, protection, and education, and indeed perpetuates a vicious cycle of poverty. It also pushes girls in particular at an increased risk of sexual, physical, and psychological violence throughout their lives. In Ghana, 1 in every 5 girls marry before age 18. The situation is even worse in the 3 northern regions, where 2 out of every 5 girls marry within the teenage age. To minimize these alarming numbers, Girls Not Bride, in collaboration with the Ghana NGO Coalition on the Rights of the Child, held a 3-day workshop in Techiman in the Bono East region towards advocacy in ending child marriage. Ethel Emefa Ella is the National Secretary for Girls Not Bride Ghana.
The national statistics show that 1 in every 5 Ghanaian women married before age 18. And that alone is alarming. It means about 19% of Ghanaian women who are robbed of that enjoying their childhoods. What do they know? They themselves are children.
But what could be the contributing factors to these alarming figures?
One of the issues that propels child marriage most is teenage pregnancy. And because of this culture of families thinking that when their teenage girls get pregnant, then they have dishonored them, families tend to just push these girls who are in this state that they do not understand into some marriages.
For these girls who go through early child marriages, do they go through psychological or mental trauma?
When girls are married early, we rob them of that future. Girls who are married early are likely to experience violence. Their generations, the girls that they mother also are likely to experience violence. When these girls get into marriages, we have seen that early marriages, we have seen that they stop going to school. There is that psychological and emotional part we even as Ghanaians do not really consider.
With the northern region leading in terms of early child marriages in Ghana, Chief Alassane Isaku Amadu, a seasoned health professional, tells Joy News why the situation is so.
The contributing factor is it is not religious per se, it is not also cultural. It is a matter of the behavior of the young girls. The realization today is that in most instances, we have so many fathers in the system. We have so many mothers in the system, but we have very few parents. Parenting is porous, and because of that, it's now very difficult for the children to stand on their feet. Northern region is high, not because of betrothal marriages, but because of teenage pregnancy related. So once the girl is pregnant, we think that they should not leave the person to hang without a husband. In Northern region, for example, the issue of a child without a father is very, very, very abominable. And so they think that if you say that the person should not be to go to marriage, the man too will not be able to accept the person, then we're going to have that bastard in quotes, like children that we don't want to see in our clan.
He wants health authorities and NGOs to focus on highlighting the proper use of contraceptives as a means of reducing teenage pregnancies.
We are not recommending that should be our first priority. Our first priority is abstinence. But today, if you want to bounce on abstinence and rely solely on abstinence as the best practice, I am afraid they will not stop.
Chief Alassane advocates for a firm application of laws that bans early child marriages.
I wouldn't even just say that the laws are so relaxed. I would say that there's porosity in the application of the law. And it's partly due to the fact that the law enforcers, some of them, are not very firm with their decisions. Others who are firm, their efforts are being truncated by the influence of politicians, the influence of traditional authorities, the influence of religious leaders, and the influence of some other big, well-standing society members.
In most instances, teenage pregnancies leads to early child marriages. Reverend Gershon Kwame Osei hails from the Volta region. He tells me teenage pregnancies has been the major cause of early child marriages in the region.
The early marriage is as a result of the teenage pregnancy in the Volta region. We don't actually have real teenage marriage with that pregnancy. So the pregnancy is causing child marriage.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Techiman.